Hello, hello. Today is day 81 of my 100-day inspiration challenge. And today I want to talk about setting goals for 2021. So obviously the new year is coming up, and I think that now is the perfect time to start thinking about those goals that you want to implement and achieve in the next year. If you wait until New Year's Eve, then you'll just feel like you're behind. So now, while we still have some time, is the time to really set up and clearly define what your goals are and what you want to achieve and what you want to work toward in the next year. Because your life is determined by the things that you work toward, and you get to decide how your life goes depending on the goals that you set for yourself. Or if you don't set goals for yourself, then life is just happening to you and you are not in control. But the thing is, you have the opportunity to have some control of your life by setting goals and by being intentional after those goals. So today I actually went through and set my goals for 2021. And so I'm just going to talk about what that looks like for me. So going through every different aspect of your life that is important to you. So family, relationships, faith, career, friendships, all of the different areas in your life that are important to you. And you can break it down to those different areas and then focusing on what you want to achieve or what you want from each of those areas. So what your goals, what your biggest goals are for 2021 in all of those areas. So maybe you want to have better quality relationships for the relationship one. Or maybe you want to be a better wife or a better partner for the, again, relationship one. Or maybe you're focusing on your business. So making sure for every different aspect of your life that you are setting goals, because if we focus strictly on one aspect of our life, then we are neglecting the rest of our life. And life is all about balance, and we need our relationships just as much as we need career success, just as much as we need family. It is all a very important piece to the puzzle. So if one is out of whack, you don't feel good. So you have to focus on goals in every single area. And the thing about it is that honestly, I found so freeing and empowering is it's not even about the goal. So I'm going to talk specifically about business and career and success. So it's not even about the goal. The goal is, yes, it's important to have something that you're working for, and that's why we set goals, so that we have a reason to aim, so we specifically know where we want to go in the next year, or sometimes it'll be in the next 5 years or the next 10 years. But it is less about the goal and being right in the goal, and it is more about the person that you become as you achieve that goal. And not even as you achieve that goal, because you might not achieve the goal. You might fail at the goal and you might have to try again. And through that, there's going to be a lot of growth. And then you might realize that another door opens up and you actually want to go that way. And so it is the person that you become. It is the journey that you go on the way to the goal. And so that's why goals are so important, because it is so important for us to always be growing and trying to be better versions of ourselves, and focusing on goals, specific goals, help us to do that. So yeah, you can have a long-term vision for your life, of course. So focusing on what it is, how you want your life to look. So for me, for my goals, I'm just going to talk strictly about career right now. So I wrote down the main things. I didn't want to overwhelm myself. So I wrote down about 5 main goals that are my main priorities. If you write down 30 goals for each category, it's too much. You can't focus on all of those goals. Yeah, it's good to know that you want to, the smaller things. It's good to know those things. But I want you to have an empty page in your notebook and write down in every aspect of your life 5 major goals that you want to achieve or work toward in 2021. Then, once you have clarity on what those goals are, you can use those things to develop an action plan. So I wrote down like 10 different steps of what I need to do right now or what I can do in the next couple days, because I want to set my 2021 up for success. And this time right now before 2021 is the runway that will launch me into the success in 2021. So I'm trying to set myself up for success right now. I'm taking the actions right now so that when the next year comes, I am ready to go. And by the way, resolutions are different from goals. Resolutions are wants, and goals are desires, and goals are things that we want to achieve. Resolutions, they're just not as powerful. So focusing on the person that you want to become, the things that you want to achieve in the next year, and being super specific about those things, and then making an action plan. And like I said, a lot of my action plan, not all of it, but some of it is for the next week before 2021 happens so that I can set myself up. I have dates. I want to achieve this by this certain date. And writing it down is so important because it puts your focus on it. It is a place where you can go back to, where you can look at it, because the more that you focus on your goal, the more likely you are to take actions to achieve that. And also writing down your to-do list too, writing down the actions that you need to take that will get you closer to that goal, so that you know exactly what you need to do and you know when you need to do it by, so that you have a plan for success. And of course, you want your goals to be scary. If it is scary and it feels a little bit uncomfortable, then that is a good thing. But you also want your goals to be realistic. So you want them to be in the realm of possibility. But you're going to have to grow and you're going to have to evolve to a different version of yourself to achieve that goal. So thinking about that in mind when you set your goals. And then the 5 things that people always talk about when it comes to setting goals. So make sure that it is specific. So make sure that you know exactly what your goal is. If somebody asks you, what are your goals? You can say it like that without having to think much about it, because you are so clear and so specific on what the goal is. Make sure it is measurable. So you need to know how to measure the goal so you know if you're getting closer or further away from the thing. So if you can't measure it, then you're not going to have any gauge of if you are getting closer or if you are achieving that goal. The third thing is it attainable? Is it realistic, or is it just a fantasy? Again, you want it to be realistic. Is it relevant? Is it something that is meaningful to you? Because the more meaningful it is to you, the harder you are going to work to achieve that. So you want to be so connected to your goals. You want to be emotionally connected to your goals. And is it time bound? So what is the parameters of time? And another thing that I want to mention about goals is it has to be in your control. So I used to have goals of booking a national commercial. And yes, that is an amazing goal, but that is out of my control, right? I'm not a casting director, so I can't book a national commercial. Yes, I can work on my craft. I can go on auditions. I can prepare myself the day of, and those are things that will help get me toward a national commercial. But at the end of the day, I might just not be right for whatever I'm auditioning for. So my goals would be to grow in my craft. Those things I mentioned, those would be the goals, rather than something that is out of my control. Because if it's out of your control, then you're not going to achieve it, and then you're going to lose self-confidence, because you'll be wondering why you're not getting closer to your goal, when the reality is it's not you, it's just that your goal is out of your control. So you want to be sure to write down your goals and do it before the end of the year. Get yourself ready for 2021 so that when day one comes, you know exactly what you are working toward. Write down your action steps so you know what you have to do to achieve that goal. And then do those things. And if you fall off course, adjust as you need to. Make sure that the goals are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. Make sure that they are that they are in your realm of possibility and that they are in your control. So don't forget about the importance of setting goals. It's so important to set goals, and it's easy to forget about it as life happens and goes on. Another thing I want to mention is obviously COVID is going on, and who knows what next year will look like. So by saying, oh, I am going to start this thing once COVID stops, don't sell yourself short like that. How can you achieve this certain goal that you want with COVID going on? How can you achieve this thing with the world as it is? Don't buy into those excuses. Set your goals, remember to keep them at your forefront and work toward them so that you can have a better life, so that you can be a better version of yourself. Thank you so much for showing up with me. Keep showing up for yourself regardless of where you are. If you do, there's nowhere you can go but up. If you would like to dive deeper with me, you can head over to showuptogoup.com. Bye.